Well, it must be September again because the new GoPro is here. So this is the 11, much like the 10. It is going to have the same basic profile. It comes in the same build package. They have not changed the size or anything like that. It is even the same case as last year. Quick setup. You can basically throw that out. It's not going to do anything. Here's the 10. They're going to look the exact same, except where that one says 10. This one should, yep, say 11. Now, what are you getting on the inside? And what really needed to change from the 10? So the 10 had a lot of great features, and the software inside was absolutely fantastic. That said, what they did release to go with it was the max lens. So this thing replaces that thing, and if you just look side to side, you can really see it adds a whole lot of depth and size. And what it does is it fisheyes the fisheye. So when the digital squeezes out a smaller piece to stabilize the image, it is even more juicy. That sounds great, but for the fact that the lens is curved. So that means, as a whitewater kayaker, it always has a water droplet right there. Always. So a huge part of the reason that you didn't see me post much this year was because I was running around trying to figure out how to make this thing work and couldn't, quite frankly. So is the 10 a good camera? Yeah, it's a great camera once you just use it as made. I was getting really greedy because I wanted the extra image stabilization awesomeness to really show off all the different stuff I'm reviewing and working on, but oh well. The one thing I will say I noticed was at some point the footage that Dane was posting seemed like he must have been using the max lens, but there was no way because he didn't have the water drops. So once I realized there was just something going on there, I kind of backed off and just waited because I had a feeling that there was going to be a internal change, be it the lens inside the cavity or something with the electronics that was going to give you the max lens without the max lens. And that's what they've done. They've put a much bigger sensor inside, and that is allowing them to digitally blow it out so then the same exact software can clip it down. So you should be seeing some absolutely amazing shots where as the boat is doing things like this, the background is staying the same. So that means instead of the whole shot moving around, you're going to see everything as the paddler sees it. Now, the other thing that's exciting here is they now make this Enduro battery. So nothing to see here, but for it's going to have a longer battery with a wide temperature range. So ever since they started taking these cameras and putting more and more and more and more stuff in them, they have had a limiting factor, which is ultimately, especially at low temperature, you were overdrawing what the battery could actually put out, and it was just quitting on you. So if you have a 10, you should have one of these blue batteries, and when I pull out this one, fascinating. When you pull out this one, it should be a white battery. Are they going to look different? No, but for the color. But this one should actually work in the cold without overdrawing and just having the camera just chirp out and die on you. So this battery will be backwards compatible to the 9. If you have an 8 or earlier, you're out of luck. Last time, they scalped you $50 or something for this case. So the fact that it's coming for free, kind of nice. I'm glad they made the intelligent decision that it makes more sense for them to just give you this thing than to spend a bunch of money on a box and then make you buy it. So yeah, we'll put all of this to the test, and I'm super excited. All right, buddy.
Good luck, Alan.
on, Sarah. So after 2 months, this is a damn good camera. You know, maybe I'm cynical, but it's not often that you buy something and you feel like you got all of the promises from the manufacturer fully fulfilled. This one does that. This camera has all of the image stabilization, all of the magic that was supposed to be there is there. There are a couple setting tweaks which I'll share with you that I do to get some better performance, but for the most part, take it out, turn it on, rock and roll. It just does its job. For 90% of you, this is a camera that will last a really long time, and it will be able to shoot footage that you can use, put on huge screens, clip down, do whatever. I would call this a really solid investment. That being said, for those of you who've been around for a minute, you'll remember these little session cameras. These are magic video boxes. The problem is they only do 2.7. This is 4K that you're watching. Until now, there's going to be an 11 Black Mini, which is going to be the same camera with none of the screens. It's supposed to have all of the same specs, do all of the same stuff, and you get to save $100. So I think there's some pros, I think there's some cons, but I loved this damn thing. I took this around the world and it did a great job for me. So I'm kind of excited to see one of those again for a average user who doesn't need bells and whistles, just wants footage to put on social media. We have one on order. They're gonna be about $250 versus $350, $400 for one of these. And we'll see how that does. So here are my recommended settings if you are just gonna be shooting general video. So I like to use 4K Super View and boost the hyper smooth. I don't put it on auto boost where it chooses. I just leave it in boost at all times. From there, most of this is relatively standard. I leave most of the Pro Tune and everything alone, but one thing I would do is put the sharpness to high, the color to vibrant, and one of the biggest things is put this wind setting to off. What it does is mess with loud noises in the background, which basically is what the river is. So if you mess with that, it will get completely screwed up. But otherwise, for the most part, if you leave this in 4K 60 with it in super view, you're gonna be in really good shape. So stay tuned and we'll see you on the next one.